there, and welcome. Today, we are going to tackle one of the most important ideas in, well, basically all of innovation and design. It's a kind of golden rule that explains why some products become legendary and others, well, why they just completely miss the mark. We're talking about the massive difference between the problem space and the solution space.
Okay, so think about it. We've all seen this happen, right? A brand new product launches. It's got incredible tech, a rock star team, a huge budget, and then just a few months later, it fizzles out. It's gone. Why does this happen so often?
The answer is often so simple, it's kind of shocking. It's not that their solution was bad or poorly made. Nope. They built a perfect solution to a problem that nobody really had. See, they jumped straight to the how before they ever figured out the why.
And that leads us right to the big idea for today, the core principle that helps you avoid that exact trap. Let's call it the innovator's golden rule.
Here's probably the best way to get it. Imagine you go to a doctor. You walk in, and without asking you a single question, they just hand you a prescription. You'd run out of there, right? Of course. A good doctor first has to understand your symptoms, ask a bunch of questions, maybe run some tests. They have to diagnose the problem before they even think about the treatment. Innovation works the exact same way.
So this brings us to these two totally different worlds. On one side, you have the problem space. This is the world of why. We're asking questions like, why is the user so frustrated? Why is this task so hard for them? It is all about understanding their world. Then, on the other side, you've got the solution space. This is the world of how. How do we build this thing? How should we design it? This is where we get to create. All right, so let's dive into that first world a little deeper. Let's talk about exploring the problem space. This is really all about the search for why.
So, what is it really? The problem space is just that initial phase where your only job is to identify, understand, and define the problem you need to solve. And I want you to notice the words that are missing here. There's no solution, no feature, no product, and that is 100% on purpose. And the goal in this space? It's singular. It's crystal clear. You need to develop a deep, empathetic understanding of the problem. But here's the kicker. It has to be from the user's point of view. It's about seeing the world through their eyes, not your own. Now, this isn't just about, wandering around and hoping for an insight. It's actually a pretty structured process. Teams will do research, interviews, surveys, data analysis. Then they boil all that down into a really sharp problem definition. They create what are called user personas, which are like detailed profiles of their ideal users just to keep them focused. And they map out the user's entire journey to find those exact moments of pain and frustration. Okay, so once you've truly, deeply understood the why, and only then have you earned the right to move on. Now we get to enter the solution space. This is the quest for how. Now, this is the phase everyone gets excited about, right? This is where you get to generate, develop, and test all kinds of potential answers to that really well-defined problem you just uncovered. This is where all that creativity and innovation finally gets unleashed. And the goal here is to find a solution that hits a sweet spot, a kind of trifecta. Is it desirable, meaning do people actually want this? Is it viable? Does it make sense for the business? And is it feasible? Can we actually build it? And just like the problem space, this part has its own set of activities. You start really broad with brainstorming and ideation, no bad ideas. Then you make those ideas real with prototypes, and these can be anything from a quick sketch on a napkin to a fully interactive mock-up. Then you have to test those prototypes with actual users to see what they think. And finally, you iterate. You refine, you improve, you tweak based on everything you just learned. So why is keeping these two spaces separate so critical? Why is this such a big deal? It all comes down to what we can call the discipline of diagnosis. Having the patience to really understand before you start acting. To do this right, you have to make a pretty major mindset shift. See, in the problem space, your whole focus is on understanding. Your mindset is one of pure curiosity and empathy, and your output is insight. But when you switch to the solution space, your focus changes to creating. Your mindset becomes all about creativity and innovation, and your output is a tangible solution. The big takeaway here? You just can't be in both of those mindsets at the same time. It doesn't work. So here's the bottom line. By forcing yourself and your team to separate these two, you make sure you're solving the real underlying problem, the root cause, not just slapping a band-aid on the most obvious symptom. You're performing surgery, not just handing out aspirin.
If you only take one single thing away from our time today, let it be this mantra. Say it with me. Fall in love with the problem, not your solution. Because let's be honest, your first idea for a solution, it's probably not the best one. But if you are absolutely obsessed with the problem itself, well, then you'll have the freedom and flexibility to find the solution that actually works.
And that really brings us to the ultimate point here. It's so easy to get caught up in building a clever app or a beautiful new gadget that we forget what the real mission is. The goal isn't a product. The goal is a person who no longer has the problem you set out to solve in the first place. So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. In your world, whether it's at your job or in your community or just in your own life, what's a problem that everyone just jumps to solve, but maybe it deserves a deeper look? What might you discover if you just decided to hang out in the problem space for a little while longer?